Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to check out the brand new game called Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. Now this came out on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Series X/S. So it's basically out on everything but Nintendo. This caught my eye because, let's be honest, seems like we're in a bit of a slow drip feed when it comes to the next generation games that are coming out. So I was just hankering to play something. So I got a chance to get a review code of it for the Xbox, and I wanted to pick it up and take a look at it. It intrigued me. I really didn't follow anything leading up to the release of this game. Didn't know if it was part of a series or a franchise or what the game was actually all about. So I saw that it's actually based off of a tabletop RPG game by the same name. Interesting. I've never really played much of tabletops or anything like that, so I'm not familiar with the lore behind it. But there's a series called World of Darkness that this game is part of a smaller part of a larger part of an RPG and a whole like universe and stuff like that, which I'm more interested to check that out now after playing the game. So, the story, you play as a character named Kahal. You're basically a human that could transform into a werewolf. And you're basically banished from your tribe. You fight against a evil corporation called Pentex and their pollution. It's kind of like a Captain Planet werewolf version, so to speak. I don't know. Anyways, the game, I thought it was going to be open world going in, but honestly, I will say I was a little bit disappointed because it is a pretty straightforward and linear game as far as, point A to point B. Every stage basically follows the same formula. I would have liked something a little bit more open, but needless to say, there still is some stuff in this game that is a lot of fun. So the main mechanic of this game is that you go into these areas, like these big areas, like inside of like a factory or some kind of warehouse of this corporation, and you go in and you have to basically stealthily make your way throughout the levels. You can transform between the human version of yourself or the werewolf version of yourself. As the wolf, you're able to go into like these small little ventilation shafts that can give you a different kind of like way of entering a certain room. Along the way, it's almost like the same pattern. So you find a room, there's different ways to get into it. You could sneak attack your enemies and choke them out without being seen. You can find a terminal to turn off the cameras that could catch you, or any kind of like gun turrets or traps or any kind of security that the rooms have. Also, on the ends of the rooms, there's these hubs that enemies can spawn from, because once you get spotted, the enemies call for backup. You destroy the little hub next to these doorways, and it'll prevent more enemies from spawning. If you get seen, you go into like a battle type of environment where you can transform into a bigger version of your werewolf that has different abilities. As you progress, you get these skill points towards the abilities. You can like dash into your enemies, pick them up and slam them into the ground. You have all sorts of different attacks, but you have weaknesses. Like Superman has kryptonite, you have silver, so you'll have enemies that shoot like silver at you and different things like that. You clear the room of enemies, you go to the next area, and rinse and repeat. Try to be stealthy, don't get seen. If you do get seen, you enter into a battle mode, and more enemies will call for backup. So the trick is to be as stealthy as possible. You also have a crossbow that you can use as a human. So crossbow your enemies, choke them out from behind, or sneak around as the wolf and destroy the hub so more backup can't come in. Turn off the surveillance, attack the enemies, make your way to the end of the level. Steal your data or destroy a server. You have like different objectives. So you go from point A to point B and you just have to be stealthy. It's actually really basic in its gameplay mechanics. It's a lot more of a less in-depth game than I would have wanted. And it's very linear. It's not an open world game. I would have liked something a little bit more open world. I don't want to knock the game though, because for what it is, yeah, it's pretty basic. It really doesn't feel like a next-gen game. It doesn't look like a next-gen game. But you got to remember this is also on last-gen. So this is one of the cross-gen titles that have come out. I feel they played it safe, honestly, with the mechanics and everything of it. Not to the point where it's horrible. It's by no means a horrible game at all. Trust me. After Cyberpunk, nothing can lose. I'm just happy that this game was not glitchy. It didn't suffer from frame rate drops. It didn't have any kind of major issues or glitches that were game breaking. It worked for what it was. I guess my main chief complaint of the game was that it got a little bit too repetitive. And I think that's because they played it safe. You know, it didn't have anything that was really innovative or groundbreaking. I mean, transforming from a human to a wolf is cool. But it basically is just a cut and paste over and over again. Even the stages start to look the same. The assets, there's nothing that really keeps the stage, you know, looking unique and stuff. You enter like a hub area after you reach a certain point in the game, and you go into like a different warehouse area. Keep stealthy, rinse and repeat. After a while, I was just kind of like, all right, it doesn't seem like it's offering too much. I guess maybe I would have appreciated if I was a fan of the tabletop series. The game is by no means a horrible game, though. Let me clarify that. It's just, to me, it feels a little too... I would have liked, you know, when I hear something described as an action RPG game, I tend to lean towards an open world type of game. And I guess going in blind to this, not knowing that it was open world, I was kind of met with a little bit of disappointment. I was hoping it would have been a little bit bigger of a game, so to speak. I mean, you have skill trees in here. You have abilities that you can upgrade. You have good mechanics, you know, with the whole stealth and the transforming and stuff. I would have liked to seen this game's mechanics be put into something a lot bigger and less linear, basically. But with that said, for what it was, a game that came out of nowhere, a game that's a brand new franchise into video games, there is potential here. Maybe after this first game, maybe if they make another one, they'll build up on top of it and stuff. It is worth the playthrough. Again, it's not one of the worst games I've played. It actually was entertaining for what it was, but it does feel after a while that it does get repetitive. So that might be a little bit of a hit on it for you guys if you're wanting something bigger and stuff. You know, after we got like Assassin's Creed out there and Watch Dogs out there, and even Cyberpunk, for as big as that was, it might be refreshing to some for a game to not be open world. You know, maybe if you don't have 40 plus hours to put into a game, this might be worthwhile, a quick little playthrough of it. To me, it just played a little too safe, was a little too simple, a little too smaller than what I would have liked. So I would give this game at least a 7 out of 10. It's not bad, but I would have liked to see more out of it. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Consider supporting 8-Bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description. You want to become part of the hashtag 8BE Nation, guys? Well, be sure to pick up your official merch, now available online. Link is below in the description. We got classic t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and even women's apparel. Don't forget, pick up your official merch now. And while you're at it, guys, feel free to watch the next video, or why don't you catch up on one that you might have previously missed. Thanks again, guys, for all the support. I couldn't do this without you. You guys are amazing, and don't forget to subscribe and click that like button if you are brand new. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.